Hello and welcome to the Ranger Spirit build that I am currently using at the moment. It's just a quick guide for anyone that is new to maybe SPVP or would like to have a look at the Ranger Spirit spec, which is obviously using spirits, like I mentioned, mainly on the utilities. All three utilities there, and also the nature spirit as the elite. Not using the new spirit as the heal, but it will be the healing spring, which is the AoE, which also cures conditions on allies on every pulse. So basically I am going to go through the traits first in this build, just to change it up, because sometimes I just normally go through the runes, but I think it's better to maybe go through it this way round. It is a 0, 10, 30, 30, 0 spec. Now, as long as you have the 30 points in wilderness and the 30 points in nature magic, it is pretty much a Ranger Spirits build, and obviously if you've got the spirits as well. This 10 points is really where you want to put it, you know? I mean, I've gone for a bit more crit damage in this spec, and you'll be able to see that as we go through the stats in a minute as well. So basically, I'm going to go through the traits now very quickly, and we can go talk about that as we go through the build. So I've got 0 in marksmanship. I've gone for 10 in skirmishing. So this is the 10 points, which are pretty much you can put anywhere. I do like to have a bit more swiftness. There's not really much swiftness in this build. So when you swap weapons in combat, you will be gaining that swiftness. So if you're still in combat when you're running away, you can actually get some swiftness, and 6.5 seconds is not too bad as well. And every weapon swap is about, is quite short as well, so you can get some quite good swiftness. And if you're using the short bow as well, you do of course get the swiftness from quick shot, so you could stack that up to about 10 seconds quite easily. By the time that's gone off, you can actually get it up again as well, by the time you can weapon swap again if you need to. So that's quite nice. That's where you're getting your swiftness and your speed from. That's why I pretty much like that. I could just put 5 in and then go 5 for vulnerability from the first strike on it in combat, but I just think it's not really that important, to be honest. The 5 there. Pet gains quickness. I'm not really sure why I'd go into that as well, other than if my pet's far away and he needs to come res me, but it won't be. So yeah, that's why I've gone into that. Also, the chance to cause bleed on critical hits. The chance of critical hit is 66%. I've got just under 40% crit, and this is a condition mainly variant of this build. So the bleeds are going to be doing some good damage as well. So that's why I've gone for that. So I'm going to be getting bleeds quite a lot on this spec. Right, so for wilderness survival, so this is one of the main trait lines for this. You can see the increase in endurance regeneration, which is great for dodging, as we will see as we go later into this tree. You will gain more dodge from this build as well, which is quite good. So you gain vigor when using a heal skill, so obviously when we use this heal, we will gain some more vigor, and we'll be able to dodge even more with that. You and your pet gain with protection when you dodge roll, so the more dodge rolling I'm doing, the more protection I'm getting. And protection is 2.5 seconds, and it is minus 33% of incoming damage, which is really, really awesome. Protection is a really underrated boon in this game. It's very, very useful, especially if you're rezzing and things like that. If you're rezzing like a thief or something like that, and you put protection up on them, they're getting 33% less of damage going on to them, so they're less likely to be cleaved down as you're trying to get them. So protection is really, really important. Gain regeneration when you suffer from bleeding, poison or burning. So quite 3 conditions there which you get regeneration from, which is very, very nice. Up to about 780 heal there, which is pretty damn cool. Deal extra damage where your health is above the threshold. Health is above 90% quite a lot of the time, to be honest, in this build, because a lot of the time the damage, AoE damage, is spread a lot between all your spirits as well, because there's quite a lot of targets. There's 3 spirits, nature spirit, the pet, and you, so there's quite a lot of damage going across the board rather than just onto you with the AoE, which is quite nice as well. So you do have your health up quite a lot, especially when you've got this heal and you're getting rid of those conditions. You are actually above 90% a lot of the time. especially if if you're holding the point, which is what Ranger Spirit specs do a lot of the time, and they go to the mid fight, they'll be hanging on the edge, so they'll be above 90% health, so they will be doing extra damage along with that. So it's actually quite not too bad, just that minor trait in itself. Pets periodically take conditions from you. Conditions removed free. Conditions every 10 seconds. Which, you know, I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, even Purity on Guardian skill doesn't do that. I know this is a Grandmaster trait, but free conditions every 10 seconds removed is pretty good without having to do anything. That is really good. That's as long as your pet's alive. So make sure you switch. If your pet's dead, he doesn't take conditions from you as far as I remember. So you need to actually... you do actually need to switch that over as you're doing that. So, going to go into Nature Spirit, Nature Magic Tree right now. Just going to talk Rejuvenation. So, gain regeneration when your health drops below the threshold is just an obvious one. Just going to go into the Adept one there. Spirits have increased health and grant chance to trigger their benefits. That's very, very good as well. So trigger chance goes up to 70% and health increases 100%. So the spirits you want to keep alive, because they're essentially what your build is all about. So you want to keep your spirits alive so that they're also not only sucking up more damage, they can trigger their effects more. There's a higher chance of them triggering their effects as well. So that's a really good one to have. Any boons that you have also get shared with your pet. Obviously, if your pet's not going to die, that's very, very good. If your pet's going to get might, they're going to be doing more damage. Fury, etc., etc. Retaliation as well. That's a pretty good one. 6.5 seconds. There's quite a lot of boons there, which are quite good. Protection and retaliation would probably be two of the best, along with the might and the fury as well. On that one, so you're going to have a look at the Spirits Unbound, which is in the Master line here. We can see the spirits can move and follow you, whereas normally if you actually pop off one of these spirits, normally they do actually just stand still on the spot and they don't actually follow you. So basically with that trait they will run around and they will follow you, which is obviously, if you do want to move around, then this trait is bloody important. Bountiful Hunter, you and your pet deal more damage while you have a boon. You've got a boon most of the time, even if you just dodge roll. So in combat, when you're dodge rolling, when you're doing anything, when you're healing, when you're doing anything, you're pretty much getting a boon out of this. When you're hitting free off of the bow, you get a boon. I mean, there's so many boons which come off of this spec. It's really, really good. So you're going to be doing a lot of damage a lot of the time and still remain quite tanky as well, which is pretty damn annoying. Basically going to go on to the last Grandmaster skill of this Nature Magic Tree, which is activated skills of spirits are larger and trigger when the spirit is killed. So basically, see there, right, so when the spirit is alive, he's still got this ability, which is called Lightning. Your Storm Spirit strikes the area with a powerful blast of electricity. So you use the ability there. When he dies, again, when he actually dies, because obviously this spirit will die at some point in time, basically, that effect will pop off again, which is really, really, really beneficial, especially if they get killed, which is what, if the spirit is killed, which is really, really good. This is a great thing to have. You can use that ability again, even if they die. I'm not 100% sure that it works 100% of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. But in theory, that's the way it is. So if you use that and then they get killed, it should hopefully pop off again. So that's the main traits of that build. The way I've gone with it at the moment and the way you can go with it are potentially different. You can put, like I said, those 10 points into any other place you want, and it would be potentially useful. That's just what I want to do, because I want to do a bit more damage with this build, because that's what I find a bit more fun with it. But also, I've actually changed the runes, which do a little bit less damage, a little bit more burning, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I've gone for the Rabid Amulet, which is condition damage as the main stat, and then toughness and precision as the two minor stats, and with the Rabid Jewel. I've gone with Forge runes. So as you can see there, I'm just going to go through the weapons very quickly, because that's an important link to those. I've gone for Sigil of Superior F, where on 60% chance of critical we do inflict bleeding, so even more chance to increase bleeding, as we saw previously in the in the other build, so it's pretty much going to be bleeding all the time whenever I hit him. The Sigil of Minor Corruption, so you gain 10 condition damage each time you kill a foe. So that's pretty good, and that goes up to 25 stacks. You don't die much as a Ranger Spirit Spec build because you're mainly on the close point or you're in the mid, and you just don't die. You're not the main focus unless you're quite squishy. So you're gonna have those stacks up quite a lot. So you might as well just add 250 condition damage to that. But that's only if you get in the fights and actually get some kills. So that is quite reliant upon that. The PvP Zenith Short Bow, which does have the Sigil of Superior Fire, basically is basically a trigger flame blast for AoE damage. So it's giving me some extra burning, and that is on top of the torch burning that I currently have from Throw Torch and also the bonfire. So the bonfire is an AoE, and the Throw Torch is just a single target damage, which is going to inflict more burning. And obviously I do have more condition damage in the spec. Also, with the Forge runes, it does increase burning duration by 15%. It also does increase my protection duration by 20%, which I mentioned was very important, especially on my dodge roll. As soon as I dodge roll, I get protection, and also when I do get my vigor back quite quickly using some minor traits and other traits there. So that protection is going to be quite high as well. And at 50% health, gain protection for 10 seconds and burn all nearby foes. And the cooldown for that is 60 seconds, which a minute isn't too bad, but 50% health, you gain protection for 10 seconds. That's quite a long time of regeneration. And also that's another AoE burning. So there's AoE burning from the 6th piece, there's the plus 15% duration from the 2nd piece there, the extra 20% duration, and also you get more toughness. So we've got more toughness going on here, which obviously increases the armor, but that's at 2k now. The crit chances are 40%, boon duration is a nice 30, which is very good. It's very survivable, this build. It's if you can play it more, you can play it more fun. It is more fun to play if you're moving around and you're not just on the point. Spirit Respect builds are basically, you can do more damage, you can do more things with it if you actually use it correctly. Like I say, trying to get the burning off at the right point, trying to do your dodge rolls, using the short bow rather than just hitting one, which is what a lot of Spirit build Respect people do. Remember, if you want some swiftness to get around the map, you hit someone with 3, then you just run away pretty much, and then you weapon swap. You will get about 10 seconds of swiftness. Obviously you do get the concussion shot there, which is a good daze, and then you can slow them even more. So even if you're chasing someone down who's going onto a point, you can use that and then use that to get cripple off on them as well. It's 50% minus on the movement speed, which is very, very good. So it is a good spec. The heal's really, really nice as well. Create a spring that heals you and your pet and your allies. It also cures conditions. It lasts less than it used to, but on Pulse it does more healing and it removes some good amount of conditions as well. So all around, everybody, this is a very, very tidy little spec. You can swap this round, you can use different runes. I do have 6 runes of the undead in my bag permanently. That's if I want to get some more condition damage in there and just do more damage just in case the other team looks quite tanky. I'll put all those runes on as well, and I'll just switch those out. That works quite well in this build as well. But you can use any other runes. You can also turn this into more of a power build if you wanted to. You could turn it into any other build you want. You can do more damage. But yeah, essentially, as long as you've got those spirits in and you've got those spirit traits, then you're pretty much good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this build. Make sure you check me out at Twitter at JebDan. Also check me out on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/JebroUnity. Also www.youtube.com/UnityJebro. This video is on more than one platform, so yeah, try and follow me on all those places. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check my channel out for more, and for more shoutcasts in the future. Thank you very much, guys. Any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for your support once again. Cheers.